Are you interested in packaging your knowledge into a high ticket product on or offline? If your answer is yes, the Giant Experience is for you. Here's my story. I got started in my business over 20 years ago, and I simply made the decision to go to work as myself. And maybe you have been wondering how you can take all of those years of experience, your knowledge, or your degrees, and put them to use for yourself and to package it into a monetizable structure. That was me 20 years ago. I wanted to figure out how to take my background as a corporate trainer, and I realized that so many women wanted to know exactly how I was able to write best-selling books, and having done partnerships with both Fortune 100 and Fortune 500 companies and get signed to media, Emmy-nominated and nationally syndicated television shows as the mom strategist. And so I decided to equally transfer what I knew how to do to them. And I built out a coaching practice that today has coached thousands of women just like you who are ambitious, smart, and sharp, highly actionable, go-getters. And they wanted to figure out how they could go to work for themselves. Hey there, guys, it's Mia here, and I am so excited. As always, I'm super excited about this topic today. And the topic today that I want to talk about from my heart are 6 things that are keeping you from your next level. 6 things that are happening right now that are keeping you from your next level. I'm Mia Redrick, business consultant, and I started my company, as you know, over 20 years ago. And I had to overcome these 6 things. And now the reason I wanted to do this particular topic is because no matter where you are, when you're listening to this, there's always an opportunity for us to go to that next level. And I want you to look at some of the checks and balances that I do for myself that have helped me to realize, like, sure, I'm showing up, but is there something else that I could be doing that would allow me to get where I want to be quicker, faster, sooner, would allow me to realize the goals that I have for myself in an elevated way. Now, if that is of interest to you, you're going to love this live today. It is a short one, but it will be a tough one. I'm going to break down the 6 things that I have seen, having coached literally thousands of women over the last 2 decades. One of the things that I can tell you for sure is that these 6 things almost always come up. And the women who are able to master themselves, really get clear on these things, are the women who you get to see, that have the testimonials that are my clients over and over again that have shared what's worked. And women who don't master these things, or the majority of these things, or don't know what they are the women who are at home wishing and hoping, but they don't have a strategy, they don't have a plan, and they're not in action because of these things. So let's just jump right into it. Now, do me a favor, if I say anything during this broadcast that resonates with you, I want you to like it, I want you to share it, I want you to subscribe to the channel, and make sure you just share with a friend, because great friends, I believe, share things that are amazing with them. All right, let's jump right in. 6 things that are keeping you from your next level. Number 1 is vision. Now, vision is so important. And the book that I read says that if you don't have vision, you'll perish, right? So it's really important to have a vision for where you are going. And I find that there are so many people who are in business, or who have an idea of what they want to do, but they don't have a vision. And I'll explain the difference. So you may have an idea of what you want to bring forward in your business, right? And that idea might be a product, it might be a service of what you want to do, but you don't have a vision. The vision might be, what is the impact that you see your product or service creating for someone that can really change lives? See, that's vision. When I got started my business years ago, I had a vision to support women with, one, around their own identity, understanding that being a woman, being a mom was more than just a role. It was more than just, that it was one of the many roles that you could play in your life. And I really wanted women to understand that the more you grew yourself, the better example you would be to your family, that your family ultimately are the benefactors of your growth. Now, I had a vision. I wanted to support 1 million moms and help them practice better self-care. And I've done exactly that. Getting signed to, Emmy nominated, nationally syndicated television shows certainly allowed me to have the reach to get in front of that audience. I had a vision. I didn't have just a product or service. And I hope that as I share that distinction, that it really helps you to think about how you're thinking about getting started in your business, or if you're already in business and and things are not where you would like them to be, or you're looking to get to that next level. Likely it's because you're focusing on the product or the service and not the vision. Like, what is the impact that you are about? How do you see yourself being a change agent in the world? Because the truth of the matter is, when you want to get to your next level, the way we get to our next level is by helping others. It's facts. Okay. And so many entrepreneurs are not focusing on helping others. They are focusing on helping themselves. What do I mean by that? I'll talk a lot about that today over the next couple of minutes. They're focusing on themselves. They're focusing on the money that they want to make. They're focusing on when they want to work or how they want to work, but they're not really focusing on changing lives. And I found that for me, the way that my business has grown the most is that I just took my eyes off myself and I put them on my clients. The reason that my clients are successful is because I care about their results. I care about their mindset. I care about their growth. I care about them keeping the promises that they make to themselves. I care about their families. And I know that if they don't grow inside to be the person that they need to be to match the vision for their business, they'll never have the action to be able to do the things that they need to do to create the impact. So I hope that there's something I've said here that makes you think, do I have vision? Or, am I just out here with a product or a service or an idea of what I want to do? But it's a great idea, but it's not a vision and not the same thing. Number two, the second thing that I want you to think about, if you want to get to your next level, that might be getting in the way, is wisdom. Wisdom. Okay, wisdom, keeping it really simple. And sometimes it's the simple things that matter the most. So wisdom is, I see a lot of women, entrepreneurs, and men the same, but I work mostly with women, who they're coaching themselves around something they know nothing about. Now, listen, I'm not selling you on anything, but I want to get you to really think about, are you being wise in your decision making? Look at where you are at this point in the year. What was your revenue last week? What was your revenue over the last 30 days? What was your revenue over the last year in your business? I mean, how many new people signed up to join your list, your newsletter list, if you have one, right? Your email list. How many people are you able to have conversations with? Like, consistently, if you wanted to get in front of your audience, does that happen for you? And if it doesn't, come on. And you're still coaching yourself wisdom, right? You've got to have the wisdom to know when, listen, my heart wants to do this, but the reality is that I don't have the skill set to do it. And I will tell you for sure that there are so many great entrepreneurs who sit on their businesses over and over again because they just don't employ wisdom. They see that what they're doing isn't working. They might see even that what they're doing, that they're spending time, money, and effort doing something that's just flat not working. And if for you, it might be that, your marketing isn't working, right? It could be that maybe you do lives like this and nobody comes, or there are no sales as a result of when you're doing that, or there are no people who join your list, or there's no audience, there's no list building, there's no evidence that what you're doing is working. And yet you continue to do the exact same thing over and over again, the exact same way. If that is you, I will tell you that it's time to really be thinking about, am I being wise for myself? Am I making wise choices in my business, right? Or it could even look like, if you think about what you're doing professionally right now. And I'm going to shake somebody's shoulders here, and I know some of you guys will drop off just from this, but it could be that in your profession, it drives you nuts. Okay, what you're doing is driving you nuts. Like you loved it for a period of time, but where you are right now, the cost and what it's costing you, time and effort, and your esteem, and not being with your family, that the fact of the matter is, it's just not a wise choice to say that over the next 10 years, I'm just going to continue doing things the exact same way. Over the next 10 years, I am not going to create a transition plan for myself, to create options for myself. It could even be that you see the writing on the wall, that there's someone out there trying to replace you with other folks in your workplace. And yet you are on delay, you're on pause about doing your own thing. Yes, I'm calling you out. And sometimes we need to have others call us out for the things that we're not doing, and we won't move on, because your friends and your family members might be thinking it, but they don't want to damage to any relationship. But I want you to think that in order for you to get to that next level, one of the things that gets in the way is wisdom. Or the lack of wisdom, looking at what you're doing, realizing it's not working. And come on, it could also be for you if you're that entrepreneur. And I know I'm going to call some of you guys out, and I just want to shake your shoulders so you change. Okay, like really feel my heart on this one. It could be that you've run a business and you've been successful as an entrepreneur your entire business, and then you hit a bump in your business, and as a result of hitting that bump, things have started to change. And what you did in your business is you allowed your business to fail because you wouldn't reach out, because your ego is not your friend. Come on. All right, like it's not. All right, and the reality is that where you are sitting right now in your business, it didn't have to be this, but it's not too late. And understand that as a result of you just being wise, right? And going back and saying, when did I have the greatest level of success in my life and in my world? When did I feel the most alive, energetic? When did I feel like I could own all the things that are great about me? When did I have a peak state of creativity? Going back to the things that made your life work. That's called wisdom. All right. Number 3, we're talking today about the 6 things keeping you from your next level. What I've covered already is number 1 is vision. That a lot of times people think that having an idea is having vision, and they're not the same things. Vision is something that creates impact. It's something that you will become known for, and it's actually not about you. And if the idea you have or what you want to offer is only about what you want to give someone versus thinking about the kind of change that you can impact in the world that's long lasting, I will tell you that will show you businesses that fizzle out often don't have vision. All right. Number 2, wisdom. Wisdom is knowing when doing things yourself the same old way isn't working. And you can just look, you don't even have to go deep on this. You can just ask yourself, like, this time last month, what were the changes? Look at your metrics. Look at your KPIs, your personal KPIs. You can literally say, like, what changed in my life, in my world? Oh, I'm in the exact same place, or worse, I'm in a place that's worse than where I was. We've got to change that. Have the wisdom to understand you can always pull the trigger, change your life, but you got to pull the trigger. Number 3, the third thing that I want you to think about that is likely getting in the way of you reaching your next level is faith. Now, I don't know that it's possible to run an amazing business without faith. Okay. I don't know that it's possible to create amazing products and services without faith. I don't know if it's possible to have a vision for what you want to do and execute it without faith. It isn't. Because in the beginning stages of running any business in any company, it is going to require you to really be able to see the things that are not there and know that they are coming for you. Right? Somebody write hashtag coming for me. All right. And a lot of times entrepreneurs give up way too quick because they don't have faith. And they could be very spiritual people. They could quote the entire Bible back and forth. I've seen it, been there, done that, seen all of it. Okay. The fact of the matter is faith is action. Faith is doing it sometimes when you don't see the results, but you know that your vision, the calling that's on your life, that's what you've been purposed for. That's what you've been called for. And having the faith to believe in yourself enough to do it until it works. Does that make sense? Now, I know that there's somebody saying, but Mia, what you were saying, wisdom don't just do things and they're not working. That's a difference. When we are on a faith journey, you literally have evidence that what you're doing is working. I'll give you an example. When I started my business 20 plus years ago, first of all, I didn't know I was going to be a coach, right? So I had a background as a trainer. I know how to take intellect and put it in many different structures to teach, and I'm really good at it. So I knew I would leverage that. I went to a mom's group. I listened to a lot of moms talk about many things that were bothering them, and I realized that I had an answer for myself that I thought would support other women. So I had the faith to trust that, right? I had the vision to know that what I wanted to do, there was a market for to impact women to change their lives in a bigger way. I knew that if I could work with moms specifically when I started and help them understand that that their self-care, them taking care of their mental and emotional health, them being connected to something bigger outside of just being a mom, that they would be able to add greater value to their family. So many women get lost in motherhood. So I had the vision around that. It was not just about me. I wanted to help families. I knew if a mom was better, her family would be better. I knew if a mom was better, her marriage would be better. I knew the world would be better if she was better. That was the vision. And I also had the wisdom to understand that I did not know how to get all of those things started. So I reached out to tons of coaches to help me figure out how to put these things together. Now, I know how to do training, and I'm excellent at that. But what I didn't understand was online business, how to run an online business, and things like that. So one of the things that was really important to me was learning how to do those things, getting wisdom and knowledge. And so I was online researching so many things and learning what I needed to learn so that I could grow the business that I've built, right? And then faith. I did the work. I wrote the book. A lot of you guys are out here talking about, you want to be an author. You've been writing this book. You've been writing your book for 20 years, 10 years. I know I called you out. And I just want to expose you to yourself. All right. Like introduce you to yourself. You've been wanting to start a business, you're going to start a bit, but you never started. Okay. And yet in your life and in your world, you are professional, you are sharp, you are a person that gets things done. You have every reason to believe that based on your track record, if you started a business, it would work. But you haven't, because you haven't had the faith that it would work. And I see this a lot with professional women. Because you have success in one area of your life, sometimes on the ego side of things, you don't want to have a failure on another side of your life. And because you don't have evidence that you can be an entrepreneur and a successful one, I know I just rang your bell. I get it. You don't start, but you got to have faith. And that is so important, and faith to do the work, because that's what makes the difference, and that is what will allow you to go to that next level. All right. And I always say, if you need accountability around doing the work, hire the voice to coach you, hire the voice, the person to call you out, to make you keep the promises that you make to yourself. This is important. That's what I did. Number four, the fourth thing that I think is also very important in order for you to get to your next level is action. So nothing happens because you have the idea, you have the vision. Nothing happens because you've got this great product. It doesn't happen, sales don't happen because you think about them. Things happen because we take action in the direction of where we want to be. And I really get my clients to spend each day doing 3 things in the direction of change. Now, I'm going to just take my calculator out, and I want you to hear me on this and how simple this is. If you did, over the next 365 days, 3 actions every day, that's 1,095 actions. There is no way your life's not going to change if you do 3 small things in the direction of where you want to be. But the challenge with most people is they're in inaction and not action. They are more inconsistent than consistent. It's true. So when we see people who have realized goals that we admire, those individuals, ask them, have a different habit of action. They're consistent, they're persistent, they're the kind of people that, they do it despite how they feel, right? And it's really true. And one of the things, if you want to get to your next level, you will have to discipline is your actions moving in the direction of where you want to be. And I want you to think about, over the last 30 days, you've been saying you're going to do what? You're going to write that book. How many chapters did you write? How many days did you write? You follow me? How many graphic designers did you call? How many copywriters did you call? Right? So the reality is that people who are in action can answer those questions, and people who are not in action can't. And if you can't answer the questions, and ask yourself why, because it's time to change. It's one of those things that's keeping you from getting to your next level. Number 5. We're talking today about the 6 things that are keeping you from your next level. And number 5 is fear. Okay, I said it, fear. Now, fear is one of those things that a lot of times people are afraid and they don't even know that they are afraid. Okay, so let me try to explain this. So, how does fear show up, and how might it be showing up for you in a way that you don't even realize it? Fear is feeling like an imposter. Okay. So, yep, I said it. So, fear, you feel like an imposter. Let's say you were going to teach someone something, and you don't feel like you're credible enough to teach someone something, even though you've got 10 years of experience, whether it's a hard skill or a soft skill, something you've done in your life. And you have every reason, right? You have every reason. You got the degrees, you got the letters, you've got the experience, you've got all these folks telling you that you've been life-changing, what the things that you've said and done. So you have every reason to believe that. But you are afraid to see the giant within you. And because of that fear, that's one of the things that keeps you from the next level. See, people who realize their goals, they see themselves as they can be. Did you hear me? Okay, total nugget, drop the mic, all of that. They see themselves not as they are, but as they can be. And there's so many people defining their next level by what they don't have. I don't have the testimonials. I don't have the clients. I don't have a fancy office. I don't have the best camera. And if you said that, just ... insert what you are saying. The reality is, one of the things that's keeping many from their next level is fear. Fear. They feel like an imposter. They're out here promoting what they're doing, and yet they're like, I don't even know if I'm the person to be doing this. You got to understand this, that you are the first sale, and the people who are going to be attracted to you are only going to be attracted to you if you are attracted to you. It's facts. Okay. Fear. How else does it show up? Fear shows up as avoidance. And this I see all the time. Now, let me tell you what it could look like. And maybe you've seen this and you've got this disease. Okay. And we want to shake it off. It looks like when you have an opportunity to change your life. I see it a lot when we have conversations with people who know that what we're offering them could really create results for them. They've already seen the testimonies of the clients. They've had a conversation with me or someone else on my team. And as a result of that, it's been the most transformative thing they've ever experienced in their life. And they know that I can help them. And when it comes to the money piece, they say things like, I need to talk to my husband. Fear. That means I need my husband to tell me whether or not I can run my company. Right? That's what fear, because I need someone to tell me not to do this. I need to have someone tell me, don't trust myself. Right? I need to have someone tell me I'm being irrational about my growth. And I'm being hard around this. And I'm not talking about sharing your investments with your spouse, because we all do that. The fact of the matter is, and we should do that. The fact of the matter, there are so many people looking for others to give them an excuse or to wiggle out of showing up for themselves. Or fear. You use your kids as a shield. Listen, I hear it all. You start talking about the kids and their tuition, or the kids and something you got to do for the kids, or the timing not being right because they're young. I started my business because my kids were young. My son, I was pregnant 26 years ago with my son. And I made the decision to create some systems for myself that a year and a half later, I started to put in a formula and that I launched, right, my coaching business, coaching moms around that time. I wanted to be the mom that could show up for my kids. I didn't use my kids as a shield or an excuse. And I want to break this down because I don't care if you're a professional woman. I don't care if you're a stay-at-home mom. It doesn't matter to me. The reality is that a lot of women use their family members as an excuse not to move forward. Now, another way that fear shows up is education. And I'm going to break this down. Okay. Now, a lot of women that I work with are very educated women. They're super smart. They got multiple degrees. They've done all kinds of amazing things. Okay. And so the reality is that they have built a muscle of other people saying you can do this, right? Because you go through school, you do the papers, you take the exams, you do the certification, and so a lot of the validation is external validation because you complete the process. But the one thing that's missing is the internal validation. See, validation is for parking lots, not for dreams. And I'm going to tell you something. If you're talking about running an amazing business, and I'm just speaking from my heart, you got to know that you can do it. So many women who I know, like, they're so freaking amazing. Okay. And the one thing that they can't see is the thing that everyone else sees. They are afraid of their light. They are afraid of their giganticness, their bigness. They don't own those things. And so because a lot of their accolades have come from someone else saying they're great, they haven't built the practice of doing the work of looking from the inside out and saying, you can do this. Because look at all the evidence of everything else you've ever accomplished. I know that I'm talking to somebody out there, and I know that I'm shaking your shoulders. And if there's one person, just one of you that get this, then I've done exactly what I'm here to do, which is to tell you the truth. Today, we're talking about the 6 things that are keeping you from the next level. And I know for a fact that if you're running a business in a company, you're looking to make a pivot or change, you're looking to create that transition for yourself, you have to be that person that you understand that when you face your fears, you get to live with a completely different gift. And so many people aren't living with that next level gift. They have it, it's inside of them, but they're afraid to do it. You know, I have talked about this before on the live. I remember the very first time I got signed to a national television show as paid talent. And I got signed to America Now. I was so excited, but I had never done national TV this way on a syndicated show. And I remember the very first segment. The very first segment was a car scene. So I'm in the car. There are 3 cameras. So in my lifetime, I had never, ever had 3 cameras, a whole crew, a producer all around me. Now, for some reason, I thought that there was going to be a teleprompter. I just never discussed it with my producer or anything like that, but there wasn't. The expectation was, it will shoot with me all day, that I am just there's going to be the topic for the segment, and I'm just going to deliver, which is what I do, right? It's what I know. I'm talking about what I know. And I had this fear. It came over me like, oh my God, I've never been on a camera before. I mean, I don't even know where to look. How do I open? The thing that I do naturally, easily, effortlessly speak about what I know, I became doubtful because of the scenarios. And maybe you are becoming doubtful also because of the scenario. See, because there were cameras, because there were other people on set, because there was no teleprompter, I was focusing on what I thought I couldn't do, in opposed to, girl, just do exactly what you do that's so amazing all the time. The thing that you've been doing for the last 10 years, the thing that you do when you train people so amazingly well in corporate, do that. But I forgot all about it. And a lot of us have forgotten. And if this is resonating, right, this resonates. A lot of us have forgotten about her, that person. And so we are afraid. But the funny thing is, when I finished that day of shooting, and I had to shoot all week, and I was like, oh my God, I got to shoot all these segments all week, and there's not going to be no cards. And they all went amazingly well. When I finally saw weeks later that the edited footage, and I realized, like, you're natural. Okay. You're amazing. You were meant for this. See, you were meant for this. And you will never get to realize what you're meant for staying on the inside of fear. You got to get on the outside of it. And if you're that person and you're ready to play that, you want to play that game, that bigger game, then I'm here for that. But if you want to stay on the inside, there's going to be doubt, there's going to be fear, there's going to be insecurity, there's going to be regret, and you get to live with all of those things. And they're not yummy. You know, you were meant for so much more than that. And I hope that there's something that I'm saying that really speaks to where you are. And I'll tell you what it can also look like: fear. It makes you choose often to think small, like small choices. You know, sometimes when I'm talking with women who I've worked with, who when they first come to me, they may say something like their goal is to make $50,000. And I'm like, you've got a million degrees, you've done all of these incredible things, and your clients have gotten incredible results, but they can't see bigger for themselves because they're afraid. You see, because their value has been so associated by someone else determining their value. You know, y'all know I'm bringing it to that. I'm just sharing with you from my heart what I know will help you. And the fact of the matter is, because your value has been established outside, asking for your worth, charging, standing in your value. You think there's no way anyone would ever pay me 5, 10, 15, 20, $25,000 or more to service them. It's a belief that you have, but it's not truth. There's a difference, and you got to learn the difference. Number six, the sixth thing that you need to know that might be keeping you, not even might, that's keeping you from your next level is investment. And you know, I'm going to break this down for you. And you know, a lot of folks don't like to talk about investment, but I love to talk about investment because investing in myself changed my life. When I think about it, years ago, I joined a Toastmasters, right? And we know Toastmasters is relatively an inexpensive way to get started learning, to learn how to speak effectively in many different ways. And in fact, it's very affordable. The biggest cost is time. And one of the things that I realized was that I didn't know my speaking style, right? So I had booked an event, and it was in front of hundreds of moms. And I was really great at what I did, but I wasn't really great at speaking to a large audience at that time. Man, I go on the stage, I bomb. Okay. I forget what I was going to talk about. I wanted to, when I came from the stage, you know what, you know how bad it is. You know, it's bad when everybody's quiet. Okay. You know, you're on the stage, a couple hundred people, and no one really, they clap. It's the nice clap, but it's not the clap that, that you earned. Right. And then I had a table at that event, and so folks could come over to me, and I just wanted to climb under that table. What I realized from that moment was I needed to invest in myself. There was no way for me to go to my next level without investing time, right? Learning how to be a better speaker, money for sure, and my efforts practicing, right? So I could be the highest version of myself. And so I did. I did many different, you know, versions of Toastmasters. I think I stayed in for 3 years. It really helped me to refine and understand what I was really great at, my speaking style, what was natural for me. And a lot of people aren't getting to their next level because of investment. And, you know, and let me talk about the mentality of investment as I see it. Investment could be time. And you know that in order for you to sell what you need to do at the next level, that you need support. You are bringing in the clients. People come up to you after your talks and they love you. But your ability to convert those individuals isn't happening. You need to invest in yourself in learning how to close and sell. You've got to figure out what you're doing. And it's just flat true, right? Like understanding that about yourself. You've got to practice the energy to practice to figure it out, and likely not with yourself. I tell my clients this all the time. Listen, we're not practicing like on the client. That's not how you do that. All right. Remember earlier, one of the steps was wisdom. And it's having the wisdom to understand when investment is a payoff for you. For so many people, not investing is costing you. It's costing you because you get to save, you know, I know y'all doing like the $97 and the free thing, right? Because you want to save money, but you're not getting the full solution. You're not getting the attention. You're not getting the accountability, and you're not getting called out the way that you need to so that you can build the foundation right the first time. It's facts. Investment. Investment is time, it's practice. It's literally like people who are great, they practice more. Trust me on this. I used to have my video camera sit in my living room and practice over and over and over and over again. I show my clients every year a video of me when I first got started. And it's like night and day, right? Because I had this idea about who I needed to be when I was on camera versus me just being myself like I am being right now. And there was a difference, but I practiced so much that I grew. And a lot of us aren't practicing enough. We're not making the investment of practicing the right things. And as a result of that, we're not growing. You become what you practice. You guys with me? You become what you practice. So you have a coach, you have a mentor, and they want you to learn to do something. Practice it. Practice. Right? So a lot of folks out there, they're not practicing. They just want instant results because they're not practicing. And then obviously money. And this is one of the biggest things that I think is a miss for so many. And that is especially today, because it's like the whole free thing, right? Like, so many of us want to sell things for six figures, right? We want to have a six-figure year. We want to sell things for five figures, 5K, 10K, 15K, 20K. But I want to ask you this question. Are you willing to invest 5K to learn to make 5K? Okay. Are you willing to invest $10,000 to learn to make $10,000 for the rest of your life? Because that is a different mentality. And maybe you just haven't thought about it that way. So like the way I like to think of things is like, imagine that somebody's going to show me how to make $10,000, but they're charging me $97 to show me how to make $10,000. It's not real, okay? Because the deal is that you will never walk a buyer through an experience that you yourself cannot go. It's facts. And people don't want to hear it, but I'm going to tell you straight, okay? And it's the reason why when my clients come to me, they have created tremendous results. You guys get to see for yourself. You see what they say. And the fact of the matter is, in addition to that, they all have been investment minded. They all understand they are their number one investment, right? The coach, my responsibility is to give them a full solution. I'm not going to give you a Band-Aid or a patch or a $97 solution and then upsell you on the back end for the thing that you really need. No, that's not how that works. I'm going to give it to you the first time. But you have to have the mindset to understand that time is money. And that if I can waste your time, you're never going to be a competitor of mine, because time, is an asset, and it is. And I hope that there's something that I've said to you today that really resonates, that shakes your shoulders, gets you to think differently about what the possibilities are. Let me just recap really quickly. Today, I talked about 6 things keeping you from your next level. And those 6 things are as follows. Number 1, vision. People think that having an idea is having a vision, and they're not the same. I promise you, they are not the same. And now it's so important for you to really get a handle on, like, what is the difference? Listen to the beginning of the live. Number 2, wisdom. Wisdom to understand what's working, what's not working. Wisdom to understand that when I do these things, or when I hang out with these people, or when I learn from these people, this is what happens. This is the kind of growth that happens. Or when I do these things, this is what doesn't happen. Okay? Get your mind right around the truth. Number 3, faith. Having the faith, right, to believe in the unseen, to be willing to do the work, knowing that if you do the work, right, you will reap a harvest. And it's just true. A lot of people want to reap a harvest and not do the work. It doesn't work like that. You got to do the work. Number 4, action. Action goes without saying. Faith without works is dead. And action is like being consistent and persistent over time. And it's a game changer, right? Anybody can do anything in a minute, in an hour, in a half an hour. but can you, for the long haul, be in action toward your goal in a consistent way? Because if so, you will win. All right. Number five, investment. Number five, fear. Fear, understanding that how fear is playing in your body, in your mind, in your life, and how it's keeping you from your next level. And number six, my dog just sneezed. Number six, investment. Investment is how I changed my life. And it's what I know will change yours as well. But it's not a conversation that everyone's comfortable with, because we have a mindset that when people talk about investing, that they're trying to sell us something. I'm not trying to sell you anything. You're trying to sell yourself on something. And you got to get clear about that and get clear about your relationship with money. So when you hear it and you have to make an investment in yourself, does that make you run away? Does that make you afraid? Does that make you avoidant? Does that make you want to do slashes? Or do you think proactively about making investments in yourself, like with joy, because you understand how it's going to change your life? These are completely different mindsets, because that's how I look at investing. Like, my God, one of the things that changed my whole life was learning how to invest in myself. So they're all different mindsets. We all get to choose, right? It's your life. And I hope that there's something that I've said today that really, it's tough, but I was kind. That really gets you to think differently about how you're showing up right now. And I hope that you will do the exercise that I gave you earlier, where you evaluate where you are right now, and then think about where you were the last 30 days and say, what's changed? Is what I'm doing working? Or am I in the exact same spot that I was? I want to invite those of you who got value from this live and you are looking to build your business and package it into a high ticket product, both online or offline, to check out the Giant Experience Master Training. It is my signature program. It has supported so many individuals with understanding that what you know is exceptionally valuable. I teach how to from scratch, how to package what you do. What is a package? The way that I teach, and it's not what you're hearing online. It is not just creating some course, okay? And it's just not. Because you want to understand the foundation that you need to be able to price it for a high ticket product. Also, how to market it and position what you're doing so that you become known in the category of where you're great, and competition becomes irrelevant, because you're great. People come to you over and over again because of your reputation for delivering consistent results. And I'm into that. And then the fourth piece, and let me tell you why I'm into that. I'm into that because if you're great at what you do, the truth of the matter is you're going to have competitors at what you do, right? Like, if you're great at what you do, you're going to have competitors at what you do. Now, what is that going to look like? Now, some of those individuals are going to be people that smile with you, that just want to know what you're doing. Y'all know I'm telling you the truth. And some of those other people are going to be people that even that you've worked with who want a piece. They just want a piece because they don't understand they can have the pie, right? But if you're great at what you do, the truth of the matter is you can always do it, and you always consistently deliver results. Remember, we were talking earlier about not having things from the outside in validate what we do that's great. If you're great at what you do, you can do it over and over again. And that's what I love, is helping women package what they do the right way the first time, so that competition becomes irrelevant. And the fourth piece is knowing how to close and sell. And that's being authentic to yourself, not being cheesy or, like a car salesman when you're selling. But if you're in business, you must know the tenets of how to sell well, and based on what your product is, how to structure a great sales conversation. And if you're not thinking that, then I tell you something, you're not thinking properly. And a good way to think about whether or not you need help around your sales is ask yourself if you close at least 30% of the people that you talk to. So if you're speaking with 10 individuals, and do at least 3 of them move forward and working with you? Because if not, I can tell you there are a couple of things that are wrong. It's likely what you're saying. And it could even be your offer. It could be your marketing, the way you're attracting the folks. So it's time to fix and plug those holes so you can get to your next level. So the Giant Experience will help you with all of those things. It's you get training that's about 16 hours. Immediately you have access, and I'm teaching there. And then you also get access to me online, and for 2 days for a coaching intensive that I will tell you will blow you away. I'll answer every question that you have, and you will leave seen, heard, and I will hear you. You will hear me. You'll get to ask your questions, and you'll get answers that'll really support your success. It's likely what's been missing for you, not having a full solution. So I want to invite you to say yes to yourself, to the Giant Experience. I did post the link here. I'll post it one more time for you to see. You can write that down, go there and grab it. And then for those of you who are just looking to do a consult, you know that you need some support, but the support that you need is to book a call. Let me just grab that link real quick. 1 second. 1 second. And I'll post that here. And that's our business breakthrough link. And you can also book a strategy call for business breakthrough. Just check the comment section here. And that'll help you. And on those calls, about 30 minutes, they're complimentary. But they're only for you if you're serious, if you're ready to invest. These are calls for people who are looking to take themselves to the next level, and they're serious minded, and they're not looking to waste anybody's time. Listen, nobody's trying to boost you up, right? You know what I'm saying? Boost you up and tell you you're great. You're already great. You got to know that when you sign up for these kind of calls, you are looking to make a move, to change your life, to elevate your life, right? And so it's a 30-minute session where we'll help you identify what the gaps are. There's not hard selling on the call, but you've got to be ready if, in fact, you are fit, and if, in fact, you find that what we share with you really could be of value, be ready to go. All right. So I hope that there's something that I've said supports you in some way. I'm Mia Redrick as always, and it was an honor to be here today and to share with you. I hope you have an amazing rest of your day. Are you interested in packaging your knowledge into a high-ticket product on or offline? If your answer is yes, the Giant Experience is for you. Here's my story. I got started in my business over 20 years ago, and I simply made the decision to go to work as myself. And maybe you have been wondering how you can take all of those years of experience, your knowledge, or your degrees, and put them to use for yourself, and to package it into a monetizable structure. That was me 20 years ago. I wanted to figure out how to take my background as a corporate trainer, and I realized that so many women wanted to know exactly how I was able to write best-selling books, and having done partnerships with both Fortune 100 and Fortune 500 companies, and get signed to media, Emmy-nominated and nationally syndicated television shows as the mom strategist. And so I decided to equally transfer what I knew how to do to them. And I built out a coaching practice that today has coached thousands of women just like you who are ambitious, smart, and sharp, highly actionable, go-getters. And they wanted to figure out how they could go to work for themselves.